Right guys, welcome to today's video, and today I have another top 10 video for you all. Before we did the top 10 best figures of 2020, now I'm going to be doing the top 10 worst figures of 2020. And just to clarify, you might disagree with my list, because I know I've got a couple figures on here that people really like, but this is just my personal opinion, and I will explain why I do not like that figure as much as everyone else. And just because they're on this list does not mean they're a terrible figure overall and that you shouldn't buy it. Because, you know, this year has been crazy for figures, and unfortunately not everyone can make the top 10, but also not everyone can make the worst figures because there were just so many good figures out this year. So this was actually really tough to make. So some figures on here are just figures that I wasn't happy with or that would disappointed me when I got them in hand. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin the top 10 worst figures. I actually have no honourable mentions for this video because, you know, all the figures were great this year and I struggled to find a top 10. But I think I have managed to scrounge up 10 figures that I wasn't happy with that could be improved. So yeah, let's kick it off with number 10. No, it is not Ty Dillinger, haha. It is the Survivor Series Elite, John Morrison. And I know a lot of people have put this in their actual top 10, but for me, it just doesn't do the job compared to the updated one, which did make the top 10 best figures. The head scan is a younger John Morrison, which does look good, but again, they've just reused the same scan. The ripped torso is great, obviously. The ripped arms, I hate posing with. And this leg mold, I am not a fan of posing with either. You know, it's a great figure overall if you can get it, and it did come with an awesome tag belt. But, you know, it would have been nice to come with a cloth coat or at least some sunglasses. Or did it come with sunglasses? I don't know. I don't believe it did. But yeah, you know, the attire I just think looks really lazily painted on. I don't think it's particularly accurate to what he wore. Unless I'm just forgetting everything. Is this his Royal Rumble 2008 gear? I don't know. Maybe he wore this somewhere else. But anyway, I'm still not a fan of it. I think it looks a bit cheaply made. And, you know, just kind of rushed out with using this old Elite 4 mold, which I hate posing with. Just to get another John Morrison out. But, you know, it is pretty cool. That's why it's number 10 and, you know, not lower down. Because it is a decent figure. But personally, I don't think I'll ever use it. Because, you know, I got that new updated one. So yeah, Survivor Series Elite John Morrison is number 10 on the worst figures of the year. Coming in at number 9, you know we have to have one of him on the list each year, and it is the Elite, another Survivor Series Elite, Samoa Joe, and this is mainly just because, you know, it's the Joe Elite. Great head scan and great parts, but for some reason it just doesn't work. You know, the posing with it is horrible. You cannot kick up at all. I don't know how they're going to fix Joe's in the future. Maybe if we get an Ultimate Edition. But I did see some people say to use that Elite 80 Ivar and then take off the, you know, that singlet he wears around his waist or whatever it's called. And then, you know, you've got the brown and black like his TNA look or something. Maybe that would work a lot better because that figure is so fun to pose. That was also on the top 10 best. But, you know, this Joe, you know, it's blue. It's just blue. You know, there's nothing changed. It's the same as the 2-pack. Same as every other Joe except a different scan. So yeah, nothing too special there with Samoa Joe. But you know, if you don't have a Samoa Joe, which is why I got it, I still recommend picking it up for a good price. I don't think I'd pay over like £15 for it now though. Coming in at number 8 is a figure that I actually like a lot. But sadly, it's not that. You know, the hands are way too big with this Drake Maverick. It is the Elite 78. And you know, it didn't come with any great accessories, came with that crappy R-Truth thing. And maybe this should be higher up on the list because I do like posing with it. But, you know, it's Drake Maverick. I don't really care too much about him. So I wasn't too excited for the figure. But I still picked it up and it is fun to pose around. Which is, maybe should be higher on this list. I don't know. But again, you know, he's got massive hands and everything. So it's not too great. And it's a very simple figure. So, yeah. 24/7 title picture, you know. That's how we roll. That made no sense. But, yeah, he is number 8 on the list. Coming in at number 7 is, you know, something I realised about this year is that we never really got any great AJ Styles figures that I can remember. And kicking it off at number 7 is the Elite 74. You know, this bright green is cool. I've used it a few times. But, you know, it's not one of his most iconic attires. I find it just pretty lazy that they've pumped this out. It is just the top pix Elite with a repaint, I think. Maybe. And then no chest hair as well. It's got the big old Karen forehead. Which I actually don't mind this head scan. At least I got nice with the forehead, but some people have it way worse. But yeah, you know, just another AJ. Nothing too great. Rubber vest again. Had to add this custom shirt. So yeah, that is why he is number 7. Coming in at number 6 is the Elite 79 Roman Reigns, and I know a lot of people do like this figure. I like it. It's the only Roman I've got. You know, all Romans are just the same to me, and that's the main reason why he's this far down on the list. Because, you know, I don't see anything special about this Roman compared to the last one. Yeah, he's got a head swap, makes the head sit too high, but other than that, the vest doesn't stand out at all, really. I can barely tell what that is. And the removable gauntlets are cool, but, you know, I wouldn't consider it anything too big. They should have been doing that from the start, really. And yeah, you know, it's just the same old shield body, same old Roman. Hopefully the next Tribal Chief one we get is great. It did come with a title, I believe, and the, what was it? The extra head scan with the man bun. You know, I don't think that was that great either. So yeah, Roman Reigns coming in at number 6. But yeah, overall, I do recommend you guys to pick up any of these figures if you don't have them, or if you need a Roman, if you need an AJ, you know, these guys will be on the shelves, most likely reduced. And the Drake Maverick is great, you know, looking back on it, maybe he would be number 10, because I actually really do like that Drake Maverick, and I don't really have anyone else who I could put on this list apart from him. So that is the main reason why he is here. But now we move on to the top 5. And coming in at number 5 is another AJ Styles, and it is one that is slightly worse in my opinion. And it is the Elite 77 AJ Styles. You know, only 3 series apart. Both pretty meh attires. You know, another black AJ. Why couldn't they have made this all red or something? No chest hair again. Again, my forehead was okay. But you know, it's just another AJ. I know I love getting AJ Styles leaks. You know, I've got some sick custom ones this year of great attires, but they just seem to pump out the most simple attires, which is really annoying. And especially since we didn't get any Luke Gallows or Carl Anderson in this attire, so it's got nothing to go with. Yeah, that's why he is number 5. Pretty trash AJ, probably the worst AJ we've got. You know, good head scan, solid attire, but it's just very boring. And coming in at number 4. You guys might be surprised that this is this high up, and it is the new Elite 81 Angelo Dawkins. This figure is way too wham. The shorts mold is horrible. The brawn torso is just not right for Dawkins at all. The jacket, you know, covers it up at least a bit, but he's way too big. He should be a bit taller, I think, and a little bit slimmer, because he is quite slim, you know, for a big guy, when you think of, like, big wrestlers. But yeah, he's not that great to pose around. The leg mold is horrible. It reminds me of Samoa Joe. I think it is a Samoa Joe crotch piece, maybe. So maybe that's what doesn't help with that. And he only came with the jacket and the headband, I think. Yeah, Montez Ford is definitely the better figure. Montez Ford didn't make the top 10, but he was also not as bad as Dawkins to make it on here. Now on to the top 3, and at number 3 we have the only AEW figure on this list. And you know, AEW had quite a rough year starting off. You know, they got a lot of criticism for the skin tone problems and everything, but I think a lot of people did warm up to it. I didn't mind it from the start. You know, the skin tone problem doesn't bother me too much, because they obviously have improved it since then. But yeah, coming in at number 3 is the AEW Unrivaled Series 2, Dustin Rhodes, and yeah, this figure is pretty trash. You know, you could put the Blood Brothers one on here as well, but at least that has some character, you know, with the moment it represents. But this is way too tall. The calves look so weird, and he's really horrible to pose about. It feels really cheap. I don't think the head scan's too great either. So yeah, that is why he's on here. It didn't come with any accessories, which was a bit lame. But yeah, that is why he is number 3. You know, I thought the AEW figures this year were great, head scan wise and mostly overall parts wise. But yeah, Dustin unfortunately got the shorter end of the stick when they were making the figures, which isn't too bad because, you know, I don't think anyone's that desperate for a Dustin Rhodes. I'm glad they put the effort into the other figures, but still would have been nice to have this like accurate Dustin, you know. And coming in at number 2 is the Elite Series 78 R-Truth, and I've seen so many people put this figure on their top 10s, and you know, apart from the head scan, I can't say a good thing about this figure. Maybe it's because I don't find R-Truth funny at all right now. I don't think he's been funny for like a couple of years maybe. I think the 24/7 stuff is terrible. Maybe that factors into it, but overall I hate this John Cena shorts mold. I don't think it works at all really. I know it might be accurate, but I just hate posing with it. I think the torso's way too big for him, and the tattoos are, you know, decent, but you know, it should have been I really like his Elite Series 10 torso, but even that seems too ripped now. But yeah, R-Truth is coming in at number 2. Came with the 24/7 title, which I could not care less about. I've already sold that, and this figure is actually on eBay, I think, waiting to be sold. Or maybe I took it off because, you know, I needed an R-Truth in the collection, but he's not signed. And he's not doing anything. So yeah, R-Truth Elite 78, number 2. And the number 1 worst figure of the year is, you know, it's not necessarily I don't know how to describe it. Basically, it's the Elite 79 Daniel Bryan, and I was actually super excited for this figure. Then I realised when I got it, oh god, what have they done? The head sits so high. Why would you make it when it just sits like that? Even the other one sits too high. Look at that, falls off. And even when I tried to pull it off one time, the neck cracked. And that is just so bad. But other than that, it's just a plain attire. You know, it's nothing different. It is just there. Maybe I would switch a few of these around, but this Bryan, honestly, I've used it a couple times and I hated using it, so maybe that added fuel to the fire. But yeah, I just find this figure so bad. It came with the short-haired head and the yes pointing hand, you know, same old stuff with Daniel Bryan Elites. And I definitely prefer the Elite 73. I feel like that looks a lot better. And the head doesn't sit super high, which is really annoying. Especially when you spend, like, you know, retail price on this. It's just not worth it at all. But yeah, that is my top 10 worst figures of the year, guys. Maybe looking back on it, I would put one of these three, number 2, 3, or 4 at number 1. But this Bryan, you know, I just can't stand it. But yeah, let me know your worst figure of the year. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Let me know. As I say, this is just my opinion. And yeah, hopefully next year we don't have any figures on this list. That's impossible. You know, we've already got Elite 82 Gronk on the way, so that'll instantly be there. I think it's actually already out, but I might get that if it hits retail. Maybe it's a good figure, you know, the head scan looks decent. But I'm sure next year we'll also have some pretty bad figures, parts-wise. But yeah, guys, that is everything for today's video. Be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe. Let me know once again, you know, your worst figure of 2020. And I'll see you all in the next video.